Hello, everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, sit a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with my Tampa Bay Lightning Historical Challenge. Alright, folks, so we are about to start March, which is typically a pretty long month in the NHL. Usually, teams play a lot of games during March, and as I can see, that's going to be our case here. We have a pretty long homestead in there. Hopefully, we're going to be able to take advantage of that. As far as the standings go, we are fifth in the East right now. Standings are pretty tight. But we do have a pretty decent lead on the team that's ninth. So I think that we're probably going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of exactly where we are going to be seated. We have no injuries, and I already made my big trade. And it has really not paid off so far. Sandy Sazalynch with only 1 point, an assist since joining us here. So the trade deadline is later this month, and I'm not planning on making another trade. I kind of like my team as it is right now. A little bit more scoring might be pretty cool, but I don't know that I can really add anything without sacrificing too much. And I've also been saddled with some players that have been underperforming. One of them was Jason Allison, which is the reason why I got him off of the team even though he was 21. So he can prosper in San Jose, and I got myself a young defenseman that should be providing some offense, even though he didn't. He hasn't been doing that yet. Alright, so I think we're ready to get started. I did check the trading block just, for the fun of it. There wasn't really anything all that great in there. Although there's a young Yevgeny Nabokov that's on the trading block right now that might have been interesting to get, but I'm pretty much set with Abby Boudin as my starter anyway. So we're going to go ahead and keep him for now. Alright, so let's get started here. We're playing today against the Florida Panthers. Panthers are 28, 28, and 7. That's good for 7th in the East, and we are 2-1 against the Panthers this season. So let's see if we can beat them. And we are at home. Then we're gonna have one game on the road, and then we're gonna be at home for quite a while after that. Right, so Ozolin still on that third pairing with Karpovtsev. Florida's going to go with Blaine Laker, and we are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. We did lose the last game against Florida 4-0, so hopefully we don't get shut out again. Oh, this time we win 4-0, so it is a shutout for our friend Nikolai Abibulin here. We outshot Florida 31-25. Robert Zvela was the first star of the game with a hat-trick, 3 goals. Brian Bradley was the second star with 3 assists. And Alexander McGillney was the third star with 2 assists. We had 18,345 people in attendance for the game. Alright, so Robert Zvela opened up the scoring in the first period. That was a power play goal from Brian Bradley and Alexander McGillney. Then Zvela scored in the second as well from Steve Ruchin. Then in the third period, Bill Guerin scored from Sandy Sazalynch and Brian Bradley, and Robert Zvela scored his 15th, completed his hat-trick on the power play from Brian Bradley and Alexander McGillney. 4-0 win, and another point for Ozolin. We'll take it. He hasn't had many of those since joining us. Robert Zvela keeps fans on their feet all night. Yep, he had a hat trick. So Zvela's having a pretty decent season. 37 points in 61 games. That's decent. Although the pace is off compared to last year. He was even better last year is what I'm trying to say. Bad news for Philadelphia. Rick Lindros is hurt with a 3rd-degree MCL sprain, and he's going to miss 6 weeks. Yeah, that's going to hurt for the Flyers. They're in pretty good position right now, but losing a player like Lindros is going to hurt them, pretty sure. Doug Gilmour extends his point streak to 14 games. He had a goal against San Jose. And the owner is still satisfied with my work, but he's not much more impressed than that. Alright, so in a couple days we're going to play in Long Island against the Islanders. Alright, those guys are feeling more comfortable. Alright, Ty Domi is back from suspension with the Rangers, back in the lineup. Doug Gilmour played in his 1000th game in his career, didn't get a point, so that was against Boston. Doug Gilmour is 33, still a 5-star player, and because he didn't get any points, his point streak ended at 14 games. Alright, and we are facing the Islanders in New York. Islanders are 24, 33, and 6. That's good for 11th in the East. However, we are 1-2 against the Islanders. We have problems against that team for some reason, like playoff problems, regular season problems, you name it. We don't face off against them all that good, so let's see if we can beat them this time. So we're going with Abby Bulin. They are going to go with Milan Lichka, who's going to be playing his first game of the season, apparently. And we won 4-1, another victory, pretty good. So Nilichka didn't provide the boost that the Islanders needed with his first start of the season. I don't know if it was his first in his NHL career. We were outshot 34-33. Vili Peltonen was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Nikolai Abibulin was the second star. He did make 33 saves in the win, so that's pretty good. And Bobby Alik was the third star with 2 assists. Right, so the Islanders scored first in the first period. Then Sean Chambers scored from Vili Peltonen and Sandis Ozolinsh. All right, Ozolinsh 2 points in 2 games this month, so he's getting more comfortable with the team, I guess. Then in the second period, Vili Peltonen scored from Janne Lakanen and Bobby Alik. Then Steve Richin scored on the power play from Boris Mironov and Sean Chambers. It was 3-1 Tampa Bay here after 2. Then in the third period, Vili Peltonen scored from Bobby Alik, made it 4-1. Of course, that was our final score, and we won this game here. Ooh, Ted Drury will miss 6 months. So he got injured in the game against us here. A ruptured tricep tendon. Alright, so Ted Drury, season over for him. Alright, so now we're going to go home to play a 6 game Homestead at home. That's going to start tomorrow against the Phoenix Coyotes. Phoenix is 29, 30, and 6. And we are 1-0 against them this season. Won 5-4 in Phoenix earlier. I believe it was last month. So, are we able to beat them this time? Right, so Nikolai Abibulin is going to be our starter. He's going to face Bruno Campisi. And we won 5-2. All right, we are completely undefeated here this month so far, doing pretty good. We outshot Phoenix 44-23. Sandis Ozolinsh was the first star of the game with 2 assists. Alexander Karpovtsev was the second star with an assist. And Valery Bure was the third star with 2 assists. 15,893 people in attendance for this nice victory. Alright, so Alexander McGillney opened up the scoring 37 seconds into the first period from Brian Bradley and Robert Zvela. Then Phoenix tied the game, but Aaron Gavey would score before the end of the period from Alexander Karpovtsev and Valery Bure. It was a 2-1 lead for Tampa Bay here after 1. Then in the second period, Steve Richin scored. That was his 5th of the season from Ryan Smith and Bill Guerin. 3-1 Tampa Bay at that point. Bobby Alik scored from German Sitov and Sandis Ozolinsh, made it 4-1. Len Barry scored his 5th from Valery Bure and Sandis Ozolinsh, made it 5-1. And that was the score after 2. In the third period, Teemu Selanne did score his 45th on the power play, made it 5-2, but that was it. And we won this game fair and square 5-2. Nice game back home. Great night for Peter Forsberg. He had a goal and 4 assists against Washington. Yep, pretty good game indeed. All right, we have a day off, and then we're going to host the Boston Bruins. All right, so Jamie Linden has been put on waivers. I am not going to pick him up. All right, so Boston is in town. They are 30, 28, and 7. And that's good for 7th in the East. We are 1-1-1 against the Bruins. Let's see if we can beat them here and remain undefeated. Andy Moog is going to be in net for the Bruins. Nikolai Bibulin is going to be in net for us. We lost our first game in March. I mean, I know I say that very often, but we won't be winning all the games. So, lost against the Bruins. They outshot us 29-28, so it looks like it was a pretty even game, all told. Glenn Murray was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Steve Ruchin was the second star with an assist, and Brian Smolinski was the third star with a goal. 17,172 people in attendance for that one. So Boston scored first in the first period, and then in the second period, Ryan Smith tied the game from Sandis Ozolinsh and Steve Ruchin. So Ozolinsh has a point in every game in March so far. That's good. All assists, but still points are points. So we were tied at 1 at that point. Then Boston scored again, take a 2-1 lead after 2. And then late in the third period, Glenn Murray scored in an empty net, made it 3-1 Boston. And of course, there was 9 seconds left, so we lost that game. I mean, it's possible to score 2 goals in 9 seconds in the NHL, but it's pretty rare. So, and it didn't happen this time. John Leclerc extends his goal streak to 5 games with 2 goals and an assist against Buffalo. Alright, and now we are playing again. We have a meeting with the Calgary Flames. That's our first meeting of the season against the Flames. Flames are struggling. They are 21-40-7. Let's take a look at their lineup here. Let's see what's going on with the Flames. Well, no injuries, so that's, the best team they can put together. So Chris Terry and Mike Vernon in net. So Vernon is still a 4-star goaltender. Chris Terry is pretty much done for. He's only an alpha star player anymore. Jurgis Baka, Joel Bouchard, Gary Sutter, Kevin Dahl, Al McInnes, Michel Petit, Dmitry Yuskevich, and Martin Woods on D. The D's not too terrible, to be honest. I mean, Yuskevich is, he's decent. McInnes, of course, is pretty good. Michel Petit's getting older. Kevin Dahl's not that great. Gary Sutter is good. Bouchard's okay. So, Then Mark Colasar up front. Paul Ranheim, Gary Roberts, Corey Silman, Brad Larson, Todd Harvey, Joni Van Dyke, Robert Reichel, Shaq Krychuk, Fleury, Makarov, McCarty, and Stern. Yeah, maybe up front it's a little tougher here. Might be why they lose. Maybe they don't score enough goals. Well, they have a shot at scoring goals here. We're sending Jeff Hackett. He has not been all that great this season. Mike Vernon's going to be in net for the Flames. And we lost the second game in a row. We lost 2-1 against the Flames here. We outshot Calgary 36-27. Dmitry Yuskevich was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Sean O'Donnell was the second star with a goal. And Sergei Makarov was the third star with an assist. 15,908 people in attendance for that game. So we open up the scoring in the first period. Sean O'Donnell scored from Brian Bradley and Sandis Ozolinsh again. So Ozolinsh yet again has a point here in every single game that we have played in March. So we were up 1-0 after 1. Then in the second period, the Flames tied the game. It was tied at 1. And then in the third period, Gary Roberts scored what would be the game-winning goal. It was 2-1. Of course, we couldn't tie the game, and we lost by 1. Oh, Karpovtsev is day-to-day. I'm not going to move people, I don't think. Not for a bruised finger. So Aaron Miller is suspended in Colorado. He's going to miss 4 games. Now, what do we have here? Yeah, it's a playable injury, and, Lakanen can come in and whatnot. So we're all good. We're all good here. No need to panic. All right, 3 days off, and then we are hosting the Islanders. Karpovtsev is already feeling better about his injury, so we're all good. And Karpovtsev came back before we even played another game, so good for him. So yeah, I mistreated Karpovtsev last year. I played him through like that day-to-day injury that was months long and everything, and he really didn't perform all that well. I just didn't have anybody else, but yeah. Right, trade deadline is nearing. Let's see if there are trades that happen in the NHL, or if we're going to be offered great players for not so great players, and that I'm going to be forced to accept. All right, so Islanders are in town. They are 26, 34, and 7. They are now 9th in the East, so they have moved up a little bit. We are 2-2 against the Islanders this season. We're on a 2-game skid, and we've dropped to 6 despite our good start to the month. We won 3 or 4 in a row to start, then lost a couple, and we already slid. Alright, so Milan Nelichka is going to be in net again for the Islanders, and we are going to Nikolai Bibulin. So this looks like Nelichka did pretty good after that first game against us. Now we need a win, so hopefully he does poorly. He didn't do poorly, but we still won. We won 2-1, but he had a good game. He still made 35 saves, so that's definitely not because of him that they lost. So we outshot the Islanders 37-31. Robert Zvela was the first star of the game with a goal and an assist. Rich Pilon was the second star with a goal, and Alexander McGillney was the third star with an assist. 16,242 people in attendance for the game. Boris Mironov opened up the scoring in the first period. That was a power play goal from Mikael Anderson and Robert Zvela. It was 1-0 Sens at that point. Oh, I said Sens. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so used to Sens. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay at this point. Let's stop being confused, people. Alright, and then in the second period, Robert Zvela scored from Len Barry and Alexander McGillney. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay, and that's the first game in March where Sandy Lynch didn't get a point. Then in the third period, the Islanders scored, made it 2-1, but they ran out of time, and we won this game 2-1. Alright, so we leapfrogged back on top of Montreal. Montreal did play 3 more games than us. Yari Curry has a memorable game for the Kings. He had 3 goals and an assist against the Blues. Jere Lehtinen got hurt with the Stars. He's going to miss 5 months after a fractured knee. Oh, season over for Jere Lehtinen. Were you having a good season? You were. 41 points in 69 games. That's pretty decent. Gretzky extended with the Kings. For $2.5 million a year, but they don't say for how long. So, and Sergei Fyodorov is day-to-day, so he's going to miss about a week. And we are now ready to play against the Vancouver Canucks, which is another team that we have not faced so far this season. So Vancouver is 32-28-9. So their record is not that far off of ours. So let's see what's going on in Vancouver. All right, so they're going to be without Doug Lidster and Martin Bakula. They still have John Van Beesbrook in net, so they had made that trade, right, to get Van Beesbrook, and they also made that trade to get Luc Robitaille. So Vancouver is one of the teams that has been active to get big name players since I started this playthrough. Right, so Van Beesbrook in net and Seliger, Yerke Lemay, Norton, Vopat, Brian Muir, Tertishny, the Duck on D. Yeah, that is not. It's not the best. Up front, they have Sean Antusky, Robert Cron, Peterson, Robitaille, Kilger, Yakmenev, Beddoes, Nedved, Pekka, Running, Scrudland, Draper, Linden, Valk, and Ward. There's definitely a decent talent up front, but yeah, the D's not that great. So I don't know what's going to happen here. So they're going with Mark Seliger. Oh, looks like he's the starter over John Van Beesbrook. Look at that. He's played 54 games. Then Nikolai Bibulin is in net for us. And we won 3-1. Whew, excuse me. Alright, so we were outshot 36-26 by the Canucks. Bobby Elik was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Vitaly Yakmenev was the second star with an assist. And Vili Peltonen was the third star with a goal and an assist. 17,949 people in attendance for this game. Nobody scored in the first. Then in the second period, the Canucks took the 1-0 lead. But Vili Peltonen scored his 10th to tie the game from Bobby Elik and Sandis Ozelinch. It was tied at 1 here after 2. And then in the third period, Robert Zvela scored from Alexander McGillney and Mark Bergevin. And then Bobby Elik from Vili Peltonen and German Titov. 3-1 the final score for the Lightning here. And not the Sens. I got it right this time. Dale Hunter played in 1,250 games, didn't get a point, and it happened against Hartford. Dale Hunter is 36 and he is a star and a half anymore. And Claude Lemieux is back in the lineup for the Devils after serving his suspension. Alright, and we are now hosting the Maple Leafs. So Toronto's going to be in town before we head west for the Western Canadian trip of the year. So Toronto is 25, 31, and 13, and we are 0-1 against Toronto this season. We lost 5-3 in Toronto earlier this season. And I have a feeling we're going to see Jeff Hackett for that one. No! Alright. So Felix Potvin is going to be in net for Toronto. We're going to go with Nikolai Bibulin. And we won 4-1. And we outshot Toronto 37-20. Aaron Gailey was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals. Valery Boury was the second star with 2 assists. And German Titov was the third star with a goal. So my fourth line here, providing some secondary scoring. 17,935 people in the attendance today. Toronto scored first, and then Aaron Gailey tied the game from Valery Boury and Len Barry. It was tied at 1 after 1. There was a fight between Len Barry and Joe Sacco as well. Then in the second period, German Titov scored from Steve Ruchin and Brian Bradley. It was 2-1 Tampa Bay after 2. Then in the third period, Robert Zvela scored on the power play from Alexander McGillney, and Aaron Givey scored on the power play as well from Valery Boury and Sean Chambers, and it was a 4-1 victory. Alright, so far our month of March has been going pretty decent. We did lose a few games, but all in all, we're doing pretty okay. Alright, so Marc Labelle has been put on waivers by the Suns. I am not going to pick him up. Alright, so great night for Jeremy Roenick. He had a hat-trick against the Islanders. And a strong game for Steve Duchesne. He had 3 goals and an assist against Detroit. Alright, now we have a few days off because we are traveling to Western Canada. Strong game for Alexei Yashin. He had a hat trick, 3 goals against the Rangers. And the trade deadline is today. We still haven't seen many deals this season or anything. Maybe there's going to be some today. Nope. No trades this season. Aaron Miller's suspension is over. He is back in the lineup here in Colorado. So everybody decided to keep their team as is. Alright, so Edmonton and us have similar records. They are 37, 32, and 2. We did win our game against Edmonton that happened in Tampa Bay. So we won that one. Now let's see if we can win this time. Alright, Nikolai Abibulin in net for us. Harry Sulander in net for the Oilers. And we lost 3-2. So a road loss here to start. It happens sometimes. We were outshot 33-29. Joe Murphy was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Alexander McGillney was the second star with a goal. And Craig McTavish was the third star with 2 assists. Alright, so Alexander McGillney scored the first goal of the game from Brian Bradley. But then the Oilers tied the game. And then Mark Bergevin gave us another lead with his 5th of the season from Bobby Elick. 2-1 Tampa Bay here after 1. In the second period, the Oilers tied game. It was tied at 2. After 2, there was a fight between Bill Guerin and between Dave Manson and Bill Guerin. I got that wrong. And then in the third period, the Oilers scored. It was the game winner, and they won 3-2. Oh, no, that's not good. Alexander McGillney is hurt. Uh-oh. 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, alright. It sucks, but at least he should be back in time for the playoffs. After suffering a mild hamstring strain, he's out for 11 days. Yeah, I'm going to put him on the... Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So you're going to go on the injured reserve, and we're going to call somebody up. Who wants to come and play in the NHL? Oh, I don't think that's how it works. They would all say, me, me, me. Do I bring Brent Gretzky up, or Mike Greer, or Maxim Sushinsky? Let's bring Brent Gretzky up. He's been in the minors all season. Let's make him feel good about himself or something. Alright. A strong night for Andrew Castles with the Whalers. He had a hat-trick against St. Louis. Right, and now we are in Calgary. So we did lose to Calgary 2-1 earlier this month. That happened on this video, if you've been paying attention. Lost 2-1. So now we are in Calgary, and hopefully we can beat them. Also, they are playing Brent Gretzky with Len Barry and Aaron Gavey. Alright, so we are going with Nikolai Abibulin for that game. They are going to go with Mike Vernon. Ouch. We lost 7-3. So losing our top right winger has proven to be pretty disastrous, at least for this game here. We were outshot 50-30. We had a bad game in the system, I guess. So Theo Fleury was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Todd Harvey was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Joe Nieuwendyk was the third star with a goal and an assist as well. So the Flames scored twice to take a 2-0 lead. Then Brian Bradley scored from Robert Zveda. It was 2-1. Calgary scored again. And then Vili Peltonen scored from Marc Bergeron. It was 3-2 Calgary after one. Calgary scored another goal in the second period. It was 4-2 after two. Then they scored 3 unanswered in the third period to make it 7-2. And then finally German Sitov scored from Vili Peltonen and Steve Ruchin, made it 7-3. Obviously it was too late. We were embarrassed here in Calgary. There was no stopping Peter Forsberg, who had 3 goals and an assist against Anaheim. And Robert Petrovicki was not suspended in Hartford. Alright, and now we are in Vancouver against the Canucks. Yeah, hopefully we do better here. Alright, come on, people. Alright, so Vancouver, they are 32-31-9. We did beat them just a few games ago. 3-1. Yeah, let's... We're probably going to be sending Hackett for that one, I would think, after a shellacking like that. Nope, we're still going with Nikolai Abibulin. We are living or dying with Abibulin in net, and they are still going with that Mark Seger guy instead of John Van Beesbrook. Well, that was a bad Canadian Western trip altogether. We lost 3-1 that one, so we lost all 3 games. Not good, not good. Alright, so we outshot Vancouver 32-30. Peter Nedved was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Brian Bradley was the second star with an assist. And Vitaly Yakmanev was the third star with 2 assists. Oh my god, look at all those penalties that Vancouver took in the first period, and we couldn't capitalize on that. That's on us. That's on us. We didn't do anything. Then Vancouver scored 3 unanswered goals in the second period, took a 3-0 lead. Then in the third period, Boris Mironov scored from Brian Bradley and Sean Chambers. It was 3-1, and we lost by that score. Oh, Ryan Smith is hurt. No, that's not good. I don't want for him to be hurt. Oh, he's out for 7 weeks with a lacerated spleen. Yikes. Yeah, that's a lot worse than McGillney's injury. I think this time I'm going to recall Sushinsky. I need some scoring or something. I was like, man, I'm doing pretty good here in March. You know, I'm not really having any injuries or anything. And look at me now. I didn't say it out loud. I didn't want to jinx myself, but I thought about it, and I still jinx myself with it. Now look at me. All right, so we are going back home where it feels cozy and where we're maybe going to win some games. Sheldon Kennedy is not suspended with Anaheim. And then Brettel extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against the Stars. Dale Hunter got his 900th point in his career. He got a goal against San Jose. Dale Hunter is 32, and he has increased back to 2 stars. Last time that we saw him, he was a star and a half. So I guess getting that goal made him feel good or something. Alright, so Ottawa's in town. They are 29, 35, and 8. That's good for 9th in the East. We are 3-0 against the Suns this season. We kind of need a win. We just took 3 losses in a row on the road. All right, Darren Pupa is going to be in net for Ottawa. We're still going with Nikolai Abibulin. John McClure is like, screw you, Jeff Hackett. You can't win a game. I'm not playing you anymore. And we won in overtime 5-4, so it was a tough one here. We had to battle for that one, but we did win. Alright, so we outshot Ottawa 29-21. Mikael Anderson was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Alexei Yashin was the second star with a goal and 3 assists, and Sandy Sazaninch was the third star with an assist. 17,064 people in attendance for that game. Ottawa took a 2-0 lead into the first period, but then Boris Mironov scored on the power play from Mikael Anderson and Steve Ruchin, and then Mikael Anderson scored from Sandy Sazaninch and Steve Ruchin, and it was tied at 2 after 1. Then in the second period, Mikael Anderson scored from Bill Guerin. It was a 3-2 Lightning lead after 2. Then we took a 4-2 lead from Vili Peltonen from German Titov and Mark Bergevin. But then the Sens scored twice to tie the game at 4. And that went in overtime, and the hero was Len Barry scoring in overtime from Dave Barr and Brent Gretzky. Wow, we sent like the 4th line in overtime and managed to win 5-4. Oh dear God, you've got to be kidding me. Alright, now Steve Ruchin is hurt long term. Oh, and Boris Mironov too. Alright, Steve Ruchin is 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, I can deal with that. Mironov is day-to-day. Again, I can deal with that. But Jesus, the injury bug won't leave me. So Peter Forsberg extends his point streak to 12 games with 2 assists against Hartford. Brett Hull extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal and 2 assists against Washington. In a strong game for Brendan Shanahan in that same game, he had 4 assists. Alright, let's see if I need to do something here. So Steve Ruchin, 1 to 2 weeks. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put you on the injured reserve, and we're going to... Now, Boris Mironov is day-to-day, and I have spares on D, so I'm not doing anything for that. But I will get a forward up, and I think at that point we are going to get Mike Greer. Alright. Peter Forsberg's point streak ended at 12 games, was held scoreless against the Red Wings. Okay, so we have only 2 games left in March here. Feels like it's been flying or something. We dropped to 6th. We've been struggling a little bit, and we have injuries. So I don't know how things are going to go. Are we still... Yeah, we have plenty of... We have a 16-point lead over the 9th place, which is the Sens. So we're still probably going to be in the playoffs, but it's just not looking like we're going to be in the top tier there because of all the injuries. So now Hartford is in town. They are 28, 41, and 4. That's good for 12th in the East. However, we are struggling against Hartford this season. We are 0-2 against them this season. Now we have all those injuries. So let's see. Sushinsky is in. Greer is going to play center. Alright, so Sean Burke is going to be in net for Hartford. We are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin. Come on, guys. Oh, 3-0 victory. Alright, so we managed to shut out the Whalers. So we... had a decent game this time against them. We outshot them 37-32. Nikolai Abibulin was the first star of the game. He had the shutout with 32 saves. Brian Bradley was the second star with an assist, and Bill Guerin was the third star with a goal. 15,794 people in attendance for the game. So Bobby Alec opened up the scoring in the first period from Vili Peltonen and German Titov. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay at that point. Then in the second period, Maxim Sushinsky scored from Sandis Azaninch and Brent Gretzky. 2-0 Lightning after 2. And in the third period, Bill Guerin scored from Mark Bergeron and Brian Bradley. 3-0 is the victory, so we did pretty good. We did do pretty good. Antitor Mainen is suspended with the Islanders. He's going to miss 7 games. Paul Carrier is out for 3 weeks with an injury. He plays for the Florida Panthers. He has a sore shoulder. Brettel had a good game. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Kings, so that makes it 7 straight with a goal for him. And Craig Janney in that same game extended his assist streak to 8 games with an assist. Alright, so this is the last game of the month. That means that's our 2D game, and we jumped all the way to 4th with that victory. Yeah, the standings are ridiculously tight here. Alright, so Florida is 32, 32, and 11. That's good for 8 in the East. We are 3-1 against the Panthers. Of course, we have all those injuries right now, so I don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to be playing that game in Florida against the Panthers in 2D fashion. Alright, so we're going to have Nikolai Ebibunin in net. They're going to have Don Beaupre. We're going to click on play game. I'm going to check my options over here. Alright. Go Lightning, go. So somebody on the forums presented like a little graphical like player thing that could be used instead of squares. It looked okay. It would be cool if the devs would use that, I think. I also posted, like I said, so the devs, sorry, I'm stretching to get to ibuprofen because my shoulder is killing me. So in my last video I did mention that the devs had added my suggestion for having scouts make suggestions for players depending on your team's weakness and everything, but they kind of did it on reverse where it gives you suggestions according to your strength. So I brought it up, and apparently they noticed, and it's gonna get fixed. So just wanted to say that. And of course, we are down 1-0. Dan Quinn scored for Florida from Craig Johnson and Bob Rouse, and we are down 1-0 here in the first with 14:32 left to go in the first period. Right, come on, guys. We need to win. The standings are so tight. We want home ice advantage for at least the first round. Then, depending on what happens in the playoffs, we may or may not have home ice advantage after that. But if we finish top 4, we have home ice advantage for the first round. All right. Yeah, it's going to be definitely a different type of game without McGillney, Ruchin, and whatnot. Good save by Abibulin here. Took 5 players to steal the puck from Brian Bradley. Looks like my players are too afraid to shoot. They get good shot totals during the, when I just sim, but during the 2D, it looks like my team has problems scoring, yes, but shooting the puck. Gotta shoot the puck. Shooting the puck towards the net is never a bad play, is what they say, but sometimes it is. In very rare occasions, like if you're a defenseman at the point and that you have a guy right in front of you and that you know, shoot the puck in his shin pads, then he's going off for the races with a breakaway. So I guess in that situation, it's not really smart to shoot the puck. But there's very few instances where shooting the puck is a bad play. Oh, first period is almost over, so we had no penalties in the first, and the period is over. So Abby Bonin faced 10 shots. We only shot 8 times on Don Beaupre. Come on, guys. We need to do better. Who was on the ice for the goal? Valerie Bourré, Sandis Azalinch, Len Barry, German Titov, and Sean O'Donnell. All right. Come on, guys. Get on the forecheck. Use the body. Put the puck behind the defenders. There you go. All the nice cliches been used again. All right. And that's an icing. Come on, guys. Yeah, it's pretty tough. I have a few decent. I have 3 decent forwards out. Like, that's an entire line worth of talent. I mean, literally, I have a center out, a right winger out, and a left winger out. They don't necessarily all play, you know, on the same line, but I have the equivalent of a full line out of my top 6 that's injured. So all right, it's a save. Come on, guys. Brent Gretzky has the puck. I don't have a lot of shooters, I think. Oh, Dan Quinn took a hooking penalty. So we're going on the power play here. First power play of the game. And it's for us with 5:57 left to go here in the second period here in Florida. The Lightning down 1-0. Golden opportunity here to tie the game. Of course, for that we need the puck, and we don't have it. We do now. We don't anymore. And that power play is almost over. Alright, power play over. We couldn't capitalize on that, so we're still down 1-0 in Florida in Sunrise against the Panthers. Don Beaupre with the save. Come on. I don't want to get shut out. Right, 39 seconds left to go in the second period. All right, so Florida shot 15 times, and we have shot 16 times. So really not an offensive game here. Not a lot of shots. All right, so we're training 1-0 here in the third period. We're going to need for the team to wake up. Uh-oh. Sean Chambers or unsportsmanlike conduct. Alright, so that should be at 2 minutes. Alright, so we're going to have to kill a penalty here. Florida on the power play. They already have the lead. Come on. 45 seconds left to go of power play for the Florida Panthers today, here in Sunrise, in the third period of a game that they are leading 1-0. Oh, Brian Bradley with the unsportsmanlike penalty as well. That's not good. What are we doing? Are we giving the finger to everybody? Is that what's going on? Alright. Sean O'Donnell, oh man, 5-3 for the Panthers. Now we are not wanting to win this game. Come on, guys, clear the puck. Florida scored. Prokopiev from Patrick Schellberg, 2-0 Florida, and they are still on the power play. At least they should be. Yeah, still on the power play. Alright, that's something that happens sometimes where that puck goes like ridiculously slow. It's so weird. Right, come on, guys, we're down 2-0. We need goals. Shoot the puck. Puck is out of play. Alright. We very rarely do good on the 2D games. There was that one game against Pittsburgh, I think, that we had like a crazy good win and everything, but we struggle a lot more than we do good in those. Alright, come on, man. Maybe Bulin holds the puck. Alright, guys. Oh, Brent Gretzky, he's not going to shoot. He never shoots. And the puck is out of play. 6:46 left to go in the third period. We're down 2. I think we might get shut out. So they did fix a little bit. It doesn't happen as often where the play kind of jumps like it would before. Like sometimes like you would be in that end and then in a split second you're on in the other end. So it still happens but less. So it looks like they fixed at least some instances of that, which is good. All right. Are they playing keep away? Oh, Bill Guerin got into a fight. He's like, if we might be losing this game, but I'm gonna punch somebody's face. Whose face did you punch? Jeff Daniels. Alright, 3:32 left to go in the third. We're still down 2-0. Alright, save from Abby Boleyn. Yeah, it's not looking too good. 7 seconds left to go. We got an icing. Yep. And we got shut out. 2-0. That's not good. Alright, so yeah, we didn't shoot nearly enough. We were outplayed. We also took too many penalties in the third period, so alright, so Florida outshot us 31-20. Craig Johnson was the first star of the game with an assist. Mikael Anderson was the second star with no points, and Kenny Johnson was the third star with an assist. Yep, lost that. There was that fight. We talk about it. There you go. That's behind us now. Joe Nieuwendyk extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Vancouver Canucks. Excellent passing leads to productive night for Jeff Courtnall, who had 4 assists against the Waiters. Alright, McGillney is ready, I think. Now, can I take him off? I have to wait 3 days before I can take him off. So he's going to miss the game against Philadelphia, but then I'm going to be able to have him for the rest of the season. Pat LaFontaine has reached 500 goals in his career with a goal and an assist against the Chicago Blackhawks. So Pat LaFontaine, 32 years old, still a 3.5-star player. Sergei Fedorov has a strong game. He had 4 assists against Anaheim. Pretty good game. In that same game, Ray Shepard had 4 goals. Also a pretty good game. Oh, that's not good for the Kings. So the Kings just lost Rob Blake for 6 months with a torn PCL. So the Kings are probably going to be in the playoffs, but they're going to do so without Rob Blake. Brettel extends his goal streak to 8 games with a goal and 2 assists against the Flyers. Craig Jenney extends his assist streak to 9 games in the same game. He had a goal and 2 assists as well. Michael Pekka is suspended in Vancouver. He's going to miss 8 games. Alright. And again, so that's what I was talking about. So at the end of the month, you get a scouting report. So prior to the last patch, you would only get that top part here. Now they have added like the available players for our weakness, but they got that wrong. So goalie is my strength right now. I have a weakness at center, so it's showing me goaltender. So that's what they need to fix, so that it's gonna show me centers that are available. And I think that it's a pretty good addition. And I'm not saying that because that was a suggestion of mine. I think it's pretty useful, especially for people that don't like that start and don't know the game's ins and out and everything. I think that's a good place to look at, potential targets to improve your team, or if you have injuries or something. But anyway. Alright, and we have one more day off here. Memorable night for Mario Lemieux. He had 4 goals and an assist against the Florida Panthers. Boris Mironov is about to come back. And the players of the month were Peter Forsberg and Nikolai Abibulin. Alright. Okay, so we're done here with playing the games. We're going to take a look. So we're 5th in the East right now. Of course, we're really tight in the standings again. That doesn't change. So 5th right now. Ryan Smith is still out for a while. McGillney just needs 1 more day on the injured reserve. Then he's going to come back. Mironov and Ruchin are about to come back. Now in the West, what do we have? So Detroit is first with Colorado and Dallas. So that pretty much makes sense with what was happening during those years. Now Edmonton, not so sure, but they're there. Chicago, LA, St. Louis, and Vancouver are all in the mix there. And the worst team in the league is still the San Jose Sharks. Let's take a look at Jason Addison. Let's see if he's how good he's been for them since they got him. Hey, decent, 11 points in 24 games. So good for him. Oh, they have some injuries there. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at our team. Let's look at the stats. Of course, we're going to miss the stats of, like Mogilny Ruchin and Ryan Smith. Alright, so Bradley has slid a little bit. He's not a point per game anymore. 68 in 71. Mikael Anderson is 53 in 75. Roberts Vela 43 in 72. Now Ozolinch, let's see. Now Ozolinch has 10 points in 25 games with us. That's a little bit better, but that's still, I was expecting for a little bit more when I got him. Thankfully, I have Zvela that's still doing pretty good. Alright, let's take a look at the goaltenders. Goalie stats. Right, oh, look at that. Jesus. Nikolai Abibulin is a god. 29 point, 21, almost 30 goals saved above average. That's crazy. .929 save percentage. Yeah, Abibulin is eyeing himself a pretty good season. 10 shutouts. That's also pretty good. Now in the league, we have Mario Lemieux with 69 goals. We have Mario Lemieux with 71 assists. He has 140 points. Dear God, that's 35 more than 45 more than second place Bretal. Yeah, I think Mario Lemieux is gonna win the scoring race. Something tells me that he has a shot, maybe. Yeah. All right. Now let's look at the goalie leaders, because that's definitely where we have somebody in there that's doing pretty good. So shutouts, we have Abibulin tied for first. Save percentage, Abibulin is second behind Patrick Roy. Goal save above average, he's second behind Roy as well. Doesn't allow a lot of goals. He's second in the league in goals against average, which, not necessarily always the most telling stat, but, still, if you're having a good stat in there, that's not bad at all. He's second in wins with 38, but then again, he plays almost every single game. So yeah, I don't think we have a lot to worry about our goaltending. I think Abibulin is doing great, and he's 24, so he's only going to get better. But yeah, we need to find a way to score a little bit more goals. I think that's probably what I'm going to be looking at in the next season, unless, of course, that we win the Stanley Cup this year, because then the challenge is going to be completed. So I don't think I have what it takes to win the cup this year. I think I need a little bit more offense, but I'm pretty pleased with my D and my goaltending. So now, all I have left to fix, at least as far as I'm concerned, is up front. And even then, up front, I'm having some players that are not producing to expectation, like Bill Guerin is having a pretty crappy season. So yeah. All right, so not sure if I saved the game. I think I did. So that's where we stop, folks, for today. So as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in. And if you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.